Hey everybody, welcome. Other time lockdown. Here we are once again. For a great show where we honor and we interview the biggest names in rock and roll behind the music and in front of the microphone. My name is Ron Onesti from Rock and Roll Heaven here in St. Charles, Illinois, in the Arcada Theater right outside of Chicago. And we are hanging and banging with obviously two of the top drummers, legendary icons in the business. First, we'll bring their brothers. That's right. We're going to bring the little brother on first. Love this guy from Dio, from Black Sabbath, from Last in Line, my buddy, Vinny Appice.
Yay, Ron.
What's up,
Congratulations on the nice backdrop. That looks good.
Well, I got my earbuds. I got everything. I got everything that we wanted it done. But thanks very much.
Yeah.
It's so nice. You guys must be really afraid of Bruce because both you and Carmine were here 5 minutes early.
Hey, Bruce is a tough one.
I don't know, man. I don't know. How you been? How's your week, man? What you been up to?
I'm good. I did a whole bunch of videos for my drum company, Sawtooth Drums, and I just got back on Monday. When did I get back? On the weekend. So, yeah, everything's good. Keeping busy.
Never stop.
Playing these drums, recording, doing all sorts of stuff. So,
have you been in touch with the Last in Line guys a lot?
Yeah, actually, we did our first show, one of these kind of things, yesterday at 4 p.m. And it was really good. It was really funny. So we're going to do it next week again at 4 p.m. on Wednesday. And then we'll do it probably every couple of weeks, yeah.
Well, when you say it like this, you mean it's like an interview show, or are you guys playing music?
No. It's all just us four talking, and we got to take questions from the audience and stuff. And
how cool funny. Is that? I'm definitely going to tune into that. So that's Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern?
Wednesday, 4 p.m. I don't know. The link will be on our sites and stuff. And hi, Betty Ann.
You're saying hi to these people. Some of these people.
Hi, Paul.
Paul Cimino.
Paul was there. Paul Cimino was there. And
people, Betty Ann is on every week. Hi, Betty. Being such a great supporter of the show. Hey,
Betty Ann, yeah.
Let's bring our big brother.
Nah.
Oh, we have to. He's an icon.
That's what he keeps telling me.
I know. What else did he tell me to say? Yeah, he's a legend.
He tells me that too.
But for years, right? And you would be nothing without this man. I know he says that every week, but from Vanilla Fudge, Rod Stewart, Jeff Beck, and so many other people's lives he has touched careers. To the microphone, to the television camera. Come on.
Hey!
Carmine says the name wrong. Appice.
Right.
I know. He says it wrong. I don't know. We got to get
this. You should check out my Facebook. There's a funny bit we did with the name. Some guy recorded it years ago, but I can't give it away, but it's on my Facebook. And,
so why are you so blingy this week, Carm?
Well, I thought I'd wear some of my old stage gear today, my retro stage gear, because I got my new lights, and I thought I'd be a little sparkling.
But you got drumsticks in your hand?
I got drumsticks because I know Bruce is going to have a guitar. See, so.
No, I'm excited about this guy. Once again, every week we keep going, just to the top level. This guy, guitar player extraordinaire, he's been around for a while. Obviously, with a lot of projects, including he was in KISS. We're going to talk about that. Currently with Grand Funk Railroad. Let's bring him to the microphone, Mr. Bruce Kulick. How you doing, Bruce?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Bruce.
Man, oh, man.
I'm
welcome.
in the same room with all this talent. It's killing me.
I love the lights. I love the lights.
Yeah, the lights are cool. I know. A buddy of mine hooked me up. And Ron, big shout out to you with that T-shirt. Holy moly.
I have to say, this is a double. This is a Grand Funk.
I know what it is. I think you got a copyright infringement from Gene, and Don Brewer would probably not be very happy either.
Well, did you make that up? Did you make that up?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
of course he did.
He's selling them.
Yeah, I've sold 10,000 of them so far. I think Gene have a problem with that.
You better call your lawyer.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well.
No, I approve, Ron. I appreciate it. I do. Okay.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, Bruce, he does that with all the acts. Everybody we have on, he has their shirt on.
Well, it's
in your case, is too. It's a good thing I wasn't a guest. You wouldn't have enough room on the T-shirt.
Well, you know what? I mean, that's how lucky I am, though. I mean, I say this, it's getting cheesy, I know, but I feel so honored to be a part of this whole thing with these two icons and legends. But, you know, Kiss, Grand Funk Railroad, two of my absolute favorites, and you being a part of both, it's an honor to meet you, Bruce.
Thank you. Well, you know, I really do have a lot of history with both of these Italian drummers. Yeah. I'll never say the name right because I'll piss off one of you guys. You know. But Carmine and I go way back, and Vinny and I, we both have worked together. And if I could, actually, it's real ironic. I meant to tell you, Carmine, a few weeks back when we connected again, I found that tape of us. I recorded you and I and Tony Franklin jamming. You know, for that project.
Yeah. You know, I found that tape too.
Okay. And let me tell you, I was really impressed, okay? And I loved it. And we were just winging it and just jamming ideas that I had and just improvising and some things that everybody came up with. And, of course, the material was totally wrong and not accepted. And then it went balls up anyway, at least on my end. But I really do want to tell you, I thought that was like really fun to listen to again after all these years.
It was great. I listened to it recently as well, and I said,
"Good, I'm glad you have it."
I said, "This stuff is good."
When was that?
We could always revisit
that was going to be the Rated X band with Joe Turner, me, Bruce, and Tony. And then,
what year? What year was that?
13,
14, around there because. And then Bruce, we wanted, commitment so we could all tour. So Bruce couldn't do that with Grand Funk, so it's kind of faded away.
Very weird. I was the only one honest enough to say I'm not leaving Grand Funk to go say I can't play for 2 months during the summer. No, you know what I mean. And I know Brewer appreciated that, Carmine, and we know who didn't. Joel and Turner.
Joel and Turner,
I know. Not gonna commit. And then in the end, I think you guys did like a video and no gig.
No, because the guitar player we got Cochran.
Carl had the stroke.
Carl had a stroke just as we were finishing the tracks.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was the end of it. And then we were going to do tours, and then it just didn't work out. But I tell you what, it was a good record.
No, I get it.
What we did was great, as well.
I had a nickname for the band, the Verkakt. No, go ahead and Google that in the Yiddish dictionary, okay?
I'll ask Leslie.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And Vinny, I miss you with the camps.
I know.
Incredible. We've done super corporates together, right? And so many amazing fantasy camps that I'll never forget. I haven't been able to do many recently because of my schedule, but I have fond memories of all of them, even when I would foolishly yell at you, and you yell back at me, of course, as Italians and Jews usually do. Okay.
Hey, we kicked up the pressure and made it all that better.
Exactly.
All that better.
Hug at the end.
There we are.
There we are. Working.
Yep.
Working our ass off.
Yep.
Let's talk about.
I know that one.
That's a good shot.
There you go.
There is superstition. Oh, I better not say that. We'll get an infringement.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Well, you guys talked about that. I want to go back a little bit because, we weren't part of that whole jam thing, that tape that you guys had found, that you guys talked about. What was the highlight of that jam session? The memory that you guys take away from it? Because it sounds like something we would love to.
Me and Tony, the one with Tony and me and Bruce?
Yeah.
Well,
I can tell you mine. I mean, for me, I know that I had some ideas. I remember a few of them. Some we just came up right there. We just started jamming. But I'd have an idea, and I literally felt like Tony read my mind. You knew exactly where we were going, and then you would either take it to the next place. It was just crazy. Yeah, and then we suddenly just, I swear, I know it. You have the same tape I do. You stop, Carmine. You go, no, pick it up right here. And we just fall right back in like we've been playing together for 30 years. It blew my mind. I'm telling you. It was so great. And I remember being so like, they don't like any of that. Oh, boy. You know what I mean? Because I thought we had this super group trio stuff going on.
So, it was playing with Tony. Tony is like I was
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about Tony today. You know, Tony knows how to play where you just plays the groove, and then he goes so far out. When he comes back to the groove, you realize how far out he went. You know, with that,
Absolutely.
it's
But he
just
keeps
awesome.
it together, you know.
I
And,
love
you were
I
having
love
fun
Tony.
too.
I love playing with Tony.
Yes.
Yeah, when we
And I
did
get
Blue
scared
Murder,
of
it was
guys.
awesome.
Fretless guys sometimes scare me because
Yeah,
you know they also have like their own vibrato because the notes aren't
yeah,
precise.
they do that
But
thing. Yeah.
he's at the top of the heap. He just is.
And what
period.
about you played on my Guitar Zeus album with Tony?
Oh yeah, I had
Yeah.
fun with that. Although
Yeah.
we
That
didn't,
was great.
it wasn't improvised as much. I just came in and played. We weren't live,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I
but it
did
was,
enjoy that.
But it was
There you
a
go, I'm right behind Dweezil. I like that. Ooh, and Ted Nugent.
there you go,
That's-
and Ted Nugent. Yeah,
Quite the song there.
we're gonna have Ted on this show coming in the coming weeks.
Yes, that'll be incredible.
Yeah.
Hey, obviously you're with Grand Funk Railroad now. Since who was it? Since 2000. It's your
It's
20th
20. This is our 20th year. We just finished our 20th year. Yeah.
Yeah, but not only did you just finish your 20th year, it was also just recently Grand Funk Railroad's 50th anniversary. How cool was
Yes.
that in that tour?
You know, I mean, look, for me, I wasn't there in the beginning, though I was
Right.
aware of a lot of it.
I
had
was.
some crazy years. Yeah, you were. Yeah.
Yeah, they opened up for
Oh,
Vanilla
no,
Fudge.
Yeah, your name comes up plenty, believe me. It
Yeah.
comes, backstage banter, you know. But honestly, great musicians. Oh, I mean, all we really do is show up and play that music and have a good time, and people really enjoy it. So it's really been one of those great gigs where I don't have to stress much except about maybe, we have to drive an hour after the show, or we got to, where am I traveling to? Huh?
Yeah,
You know
right.
what I mean? So that part of it I
Usual.
never really liked.
Who's
But-
singing? Who's singing?
So Max Carl is the singer.
Oh,
Max
Max,
Groening.
Big Max.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
No,
I
Max.
know Max.
He was with 38 Special for a
Yeah,
while.
he's awesome.
And then our keyboard player, Tim Cashin's a great singer too. And Brewer sings a few of the songs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does. Yeah.
So it's a real powerhouse thing with the vocals. And then we're still in the original key, 440.
Wow.
And then we do most of the hits. Not all of them, but we do a lot of the hits and then a couple other songs. And the show always goes over. You know, I'm not introduced as Bruce from Kiss. You know, I'm just Bruce Kulick, lead guitar, and that's fine. But any of the Kiss fans that have caught it really enjoyed it. And they didn't realize quite a few of those songs they were familiar with. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right.
Which Grand Funk did have a long period where they weren't active. So unlike other bands that continue, there was that stop there, So
I saw
Great,
you
great.
guys in Delmar. I
There you
came
go.
to see it. It
Yeah.
was great.
yeah,
Fantastic.
thank you. Thanks.
Loved it.
I
Yeah,
love it when musicians show up because I don't know if they know what they're going to expect. And we do there are dates with Chicago and the Guess Who and Blue Oyster Cult, people all you guys know. But most of the time it's just these crazy city festivals and casinos in the middle of nowhere. And sometimes a major city. It all depends, So I miss the guys. We haven't been together since March 7th or something, when we played the Tropicana in New Jersey casino.
Wow. Yeah, our last gig, me and Vinny, was February 9th in New York.
There you go.
And we did a run of 4 shows. We didn't know that was going to be our last gigs for 220. Crazy.
I remember I was in touch with you, Vinny. I was like, what are you doing? What's going on? Because I think you were going to do other things into March, and then that came to a screeching halt too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything.
I did one last gig in March.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
March 14th. It was a
I tell you,
Sabbath thing.
Oh, that was a borderline date there.
It was like the day of. Well, they might pull the gig.
Exactly.
The cops might come and this. We might have to put half the people there. So all that bullshit. But we went on. The place got packed, and that was the last show. Next day, it was shut down.
Yep.
So I might have been the last concert in Ohio.
Or the last COVID spreader in Ohio in March.
That's
Yeah, we
me.
were telling, that's what our family was telling. You going there? What are you, crazy? You gonna get sick?
I even did a meet and greet. I did a meet and greet. Too.
Yeah, but then when he came home, he stayed away from my older brother for 2 weeks.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So it was good.
Then you talk about your down shows. In my venues, I've had to move 163 shows so far,
Oh, man.
and still doing it. Still don't know when we're going to open up in our venues. So
I don't think anyone does, Ron.
We got 3
What was the
shows
last one?
Halloween. I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's got 3 shows Halloween?
Last in line.
You mean 3 different gigs?
3 different gigs toward the Pennsylvania and all that. So
Are you doing drive-in theaters?
no.
Well, then you're probably not going to happen.
probably not, man. It depends on a lot of things, and these government guys are the ones pulling the strings. It's hard, but we're not going to go there. Where I do want to go,
Wait, before you do, what was your last show?
My last show was actually, let me think here. I think it was Winger.
Oh, it was Winger. Okay, great.
Winger, it was either Winger, Warren, or Dokken. I got to look, but it's just nuts, man. Just nuts. Because the tough thing is not only have we had to move them, we've moved the same show 3 times. Remember, it was March, so it went closed down. So all right, well, let's move it to June. We'll definitely be open by June.
Yeah, right.
Now we're gonna move to September. Well, now we've moved stuff to January, February. I don't know, man. I don't know. Not looking good the way it is.
Well, at least you're still open, and a lot of venues can't afford to be closed, and they're, like in New York, there's a couple of venues that's closing down. They can't afford to stay open.
There's a lot of them, man. A lot of them.
Hotels, restaurants. It's a joke.
Well, a lot of the clubs, like my clubs, my smaller clubs, that they won't let us open at all. Anything that's that 50-person thing, that doesn't even come into play. So it's really, really tough. But you know what? The thing is, we're staying relevant. We're doing things like this, like you guys are doing live streaming and interviews. Yeah. And keeping the fans engaged, and they are appreciating it. And we told everybody that Bruce Kulick was going to be on our show. Oh my goodness, the fans kept it's matter of fact, right now, this is one of our largest shows that people are watching. So it's great to have Bruce here. Nice. A lot of kids on the show right now, Bruce.
We also did Eric. We did Eric Singer.
Oh, you got Eric. All right.
Yeah, we did Eric. He's like on our 2nd or 3rd show.
Yeah, that's an accomplishment. He's always shy with the social media, but that's great.
We had a good time.
Great. We had a good time.
Oh yeah,
we actually had a good time with everybody. Everybody that we've been friends with,
Yep.
So was that at 3:30? I saw you plucking over there. What do you got down there? What
this guitar here. It's actually it is a 330. It's funny you asked.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
It's not a Kiss related guitar. My fans know that every month I feature a hang on. It's hard to figure out which way it goes. There you go. But it's a 1960 330.
Wow.
ES 330. So this is like most people could relate to these guitars, though not in cherry, as a like the Beatles used a semi-hollow sunburst guitar with chrome pickups, and that's the 330. So it's the same kind of model, but that was made by Epiphone.
Didn't the Monkees use that?
Vinny?
Not really. But you know who I think Gary Moore used to play? Not Gary Moore. I'm sorry. The jazz, the blues guy. I'm sorry that. I'm forgetting his name now. It's been a while. But there's guys who will show up with these kind of guitars.
Wow.
They'll feedback well, and they just sound terrific.
Vinny Martell played 335 in 1967 on "You Keep Me Hanging On."
Wow.
I love that. That's
with a
great.
with a Standell amplifier.
Those are vintage. Yep.
Right.
I'm sure you like that.
These will feed back nicely. Let's hear it. And then I can go right into.
Nice.
More than that, though. Copyright. You get the idea.
We got to find a couple of to back you up somewhere.
I did one of these yesterday with Greg Bissonette and Billy Cobham and a lot of great players. And Bissonette said about Ringo, he said Ringo never got on the drums by himself and practiced drums.
Wow.
He said he always would play with a band. He would always play with a band, and that's when he would come up with his drum parts.
Awesome.
Which is pretty wild when you think about it, because how many drummers sit there and play by themselves all the time?
Going back real quick here, going back to the Kiss days, it's really interesting to me that not only, a little known fact, well, probably not to the Kiss fans, but you're one of the longest members of Kiss. I don't mean physically, I don't know that, but I'm just saying from even with the original guys, you're a long.
No, I have 12 years in a row at least. But actually, Eric's really up there in the years because he had the 5 with me, and then he's gone on. I don't know. He's probably over 20 years already that he's been with them. And Tommy's coming up. They've surpassed the original guys already, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, meaning it's Ace and Peter, not of course Paul and Gene, who have been there all the time. So,
Yeah.
But to me, it's never been about how many years. Look, 12 was a real blessing. I mean, within the 3rd year, I thought, how long is this going to last? You know what I mean? Because music changes, and I knew that Gene was getting into like movies and things, and who knew what would be next, right? But that body of work that I was able to accomplish with those guys and those tours and the videos, it just blows my mind how many people that it's relevant to, it's important to them. And I'm just digging deep and celebrating it all the time, especially now that I don't have travel gigs to go to. So I've been really engaging the fans. And, if anyone's critical of that, I think that's foolish because I do enjoy it and I do love what I did and accomplished, and the fact that it means so much to so many people. I love it. I really do.
You know what? It's such an interesting time in the Kiss history. Obviously, it was the unmasked time. I mean,
right.
You're the guy that was unmasked almost the longest, it seems like.
Yes, I definitely. My comment for that, I waved the flag of the non-makeup era because I had the most consistent years. Now, a lot of people ask why didn't they go back to me when Ace was not going to, stay in the band. And, Tommy was like the understudy, excellent guitar player, knew all the parts. And it made a lot of sense. Just insert Tommy, especially when Ace didn't show up like 2 or 3 times, And that's how he became the guitarist. Because let's be honest, by the time they were doing the makeup again, everything was about that look, that playing, that style, that era of music, And that wasn't what Kiss was, completely. We did supercharged versions of vintage songs. Everybody knew that. Even if we went deep with like Watching You or even a Love Gun or Who I Was Made for Loving You, we did it differently with Eric Singer and myself especially. But certainly Tommy knew the Ace stuff and knew how to be the spaceman, shall I say. Okay. So it made sense for him to get the gig. And yeah, do I miss being in Kiss? Absolutely. But I certainly didn't want to just morph into something that wasn't my real connection with Kiss. You follow that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Were those arena shows as big as they are, they were subsequently during that era?
Well, we did really big shows in my era for sure. From the a lot of people have been sharing a lot of stuff over the summer. There was in '88 all our festivals, Orange Maid play with and other bands like that. And the photos I see are just incredible. The people share the YouTubes. But we did these really big dates. And look, our production, I thought was amazing back in that day. Carmine, you opened with King Cobra. You remember?
Yeah, I remember. We did a lot of gigs with you guys.
Yeah.
And you remember our motorhome that kept breaking down?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Is he going to make it or not?
Yeah. Are they going to make it tonight? Yeah, it was great.
No.
Was it somebody's birthday? Was it Gene's birthday? We all went
that
on
would have
stage.
been in August if it was. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Gene's birthday. We went up all on stage and created havoc with you guys.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that was good fun.
The way to do it.
And it was great because Gene and Paul, my manager Alan Miller was involved with a coin management originally,
right,
who managed Kiss, and he managed me with King Cobra. And when we had the second album out, and we had the Iron Eagle song in, and things were going good, Alan talked to, I believe it was Gene and Paul, and said, "Look, we really need to be on tour," and they did us a big favor.
Right.
And they took us on tour, and they actually paid us.
Oh,
normally, back in the day,
yeah,
they would have to people would have to pay them to be on the tour, and they actually paid. It wasn't a lot of money, like a couple of grand a night or something, but at least we didn't have to pay, and they were good friends. And then and I had played on Paul's album,
Sure. You have a good connection with Kiss. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what? And I find that your era, we'll call it your era for the purpose of this discussion,
Sure.
The musicality of the band Kiss seemed a little bit more intense as opposed to the theatrical elements that were added pre and post your era. And especially this, I love I Walk Alone. And, you actually sing the vocals
Yep.
on a Kiss song. It's a great song.
Yeah, that song was, believe me, I experimented a lot, and Gene and I just kept working on it, and I got very, very wild putting in backwards things and flipping tapes and trying things. So that's why that one's almost like, I mean, if I could mention bands that inspired what to do with it, it would be Queen and the Beatles, and just get very, just think out of the box with it differently, and flipping an entire bridge and the drums are backwards, and I was able to fool around with pretty primitive stuff at home to make it happen. Of course, when we went to the studio, we used the best stuff we could. But thank you for that. Look, right before I got in the band, you got to think about where the band was. Creatures of the Night was a great album. Okay, they did The Elder, and they stretched out a little bit, and that was a little weird for them. But still, it was a Bob Ezrin record. But the Creatures of the Night had some great stuff. A new drummer, so they had a little more energy. Lick It Up then came, and that had some great stuff. Even though it was mostly Vinny was in the band now, Vinny Vincent. But what Animalize, and when Animalize happened, which was the tour I joined them with, that material was getting into this Zeppelin meets Kiss, very up-tempo, double bass drum, wild guitar rhythms. I mean, I was really impressed when I was asked, all right, here's the material. You're going on tour with us. And I was like, whoa. Kiss wasn't just, I want to rock and roll all night and party every day, or Strata. You know what I mean? It wasn't that. It was much more. And then the band just always evolved. I mean, I really think, and Vinny knows this from the camps, whenever there's been the Kiss camp, meaning, Paul, someone was a special guest. That material is much more complex than some people give it credit for.
Right.
Yeah.
You know that, Vinny, right?
Oh, yeah, and the feel of it and everything,
Yep. Yep. From the bass parts. I mean, again, because of the theatrics and the history of Kiss, or the history of it, and the makeup in the, 10 years almost. 10 years. A lot of people didn't take them seriously musically.
Right.
And they didn't care about that. Gene always, he doesn't care. Carmine, Gene's a great bass player.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Solid. He plays with that lead, McCartney, Jack Bruce kind of vibe,
I had a story one time. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, do it.
But when Kiss first did their very first big arena tour, I was playing with Leslie West's band, replacing Corky Lang. In that band was Kenny Aronson, who worked with Vinny, and Mick Jones from Foreigner was in that band.
Sure. Wow.
So, and we were opening for Kiss. I think I told the story when Eric was live. Eric was on the phone on the show. Anyway, so it was like I got to know Paul and Gene really well, and this is when they just started becoming big, and they said, they were fans of like Vanilla Fudge and Cactus and BBA and all that. So we went. Paul told me this, and he said that they went to Comac Arena, and they saw Cactus play with Alice Cooper.
Wow.
And Paul said, if we can get the rawness and rock and rollness of Cactus and mix it with Alice Cooper's, theatrics, we'd really have something.
Exactly. And that's out on Long Island, so he caught you guys there. Right?
Yeah, and he told me that when they were on the tour, headlining arenas, and I was playing with Leslie, and I said, "Wow, how cool is that?" But they were just a cool band, with makeup and theatrics coming up. They weren't really huge yet, Well, but I don't know if you'd say that now.
We don't always talk about their influences, but it's very clear to, especially us musicians, who they kind of idolized from Led Zeppelin to bands like Cactus or even Vanilla Fudge. It's real obvious. Mountain, all that stuff, Cream, and then the Beatles. So all of a sudden there's four guys, very identifiable individuals, right? Yes, done with makeup.
With the names.
Right. With and then, Paul, let's be honest, Paul Eisen, Stanley Eisen knew he couldn't be Stanley Eisen and be a rock star. But he could be Paul Stanley and be a rock star. There's no doubt. Gene was not going to be Gene Klein or Gene Chaim, or whatever. And then even so Ace, is Paul also, right? And he becomes Ace, right? So you get what I mean. I mean, this was obvious that they knew how to do something really powerful in rock and roll. And I got nothing but respect for them. And I don't, the people that don't get it or think it's just not their thing, or they're cheesy, or it's just whatever. I know otherwise, and I consider myself, and Vinny will attest to, a snobby musician. Okay, yet I'm always
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am. I know. He knows too. But I just always really impressed with the creativity from these guys. And then on top of it, I just think that sometimes the show part of it and the entertainment part of it and the performance part of it overshadowed how hard and interesting the music was. You know what I mean?
I got one for you. Was it Blackjack? Was that the name of it?
Yeah, the band with Bolton. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Blackjack.
It was Jimmy Haslip, who I sort of got into. I think I brought him out to LA, but I think it was after that he joined Blackjack. Because you had, wasn't Steve Weiss your? Was Steve Weiss your?
Stephen Weiss was the attorney who got us the record.
That was our attorney for ages.
Yeah.
Sandy Gennaro.
Sandy, another drummer guy that I'm sure you guys are friends with.
Yeah.
Sandy got the gig by sending press kits back in the early days. That's like a little folder with a picture and a bio and everything. Not an EPK or whatever they call it now, right?
Yeah, Sandy's the one that turned me on to the gig with Rod Stewart.
Wow.
Because I saw him in the street. I said, "Hey, Sandy, how you doing?" I go, what you doing? He goes, "I just auditioned for Rod Stewart." I go, "Wow, that's great. Did you get it?" He goes, "No." He said, "You should."
Oh my God.
I said, "Wow, who is it?" So he gave me the phone number. It was a guy, Pete Buckland, who I knew because we toured with Cactus and the Faces for 60 shows. So I knew Pete. We used to wreck hotel rooms and cars and everything together. So I called Pete and, "Hey, Pete, what's going on? I hear Rod's looking for a drummer. You don't call me?" He goes, "You're always busy." I said, "Well, I'm not busy now. I'd love to come check it out." So he called Rod. Rod said, "Go to my house and check out the band." Yeah. And there you go. And I got the gig, and I was there 8 years.
That's crazy. I got a funny just a quick Rod Stewart story. So, I'm living in Las Vegas now. You guys know that.
Yeah.
And I had, making the move was not easy. I had obviously you pack up your home and then you have the movers come and the whole thing, right? But, for a guitarist, the guitars and the gear and the amps and stuff, that doesn't go with Allied movers. Okay. You get what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So it all went in storage at Third Encore. Okay. That's a very professional rehearsal place in North Hollywood. Right near ESP Guitars. So my stuff sat there until I was settled here in Vegas, and then I could make arrangements to have that brought to my home, and deal with it. And even though I got rid of so much stuff during that whole process, because you realize how much shit you have when you move. Okay, we all know that.
Right? Yeah, I just moved to Florida.
So I was selling stuff from the storage there, from my locker and everything, right? I'd be going in because I knew what I didn't want to bring and I didn't need anymore. So like more than a third of it, I just got rid of before I had to go to Vegas with it. And Rod was rehearsing there because Third Encore has right? So I'm walking in to get this Les Paul I'm selling somebody, right? I walk by with a Les Paul case, nobody's bothering me or nothing, But I swear, Carmine, he gave me this like really weird double take. And I've never met him. I doubt if he knew me, but something connected to him though, maybe.
He might have saw you in the Kiss videos. He used to watch.
No, I know.
Did you owe him money?
You guys, right?
Did you owe him money?
Did you owe him money?
I didn't owe him any money. No. But it was funny. I got a thrill out of it. I mean, I saw there's always a lot of great people that rehearse up in North Hollywood at those places up there. We rehearsed that Fakakta band thing there too, remember?
Right, that's right. Yeah.
The other mates,
Yeah.
So anyway, what a funny thing to run into him with my guitar. But I just thought it was funny. But I can't think of Rod without thinking of you, or I'll run into Katja, the sax player.
Yeah.
The
girl. Yeah.
She
just recut "Do You Think I'm Sexy?" and got a hold of me.
Oh, cool.
Wanted my blessing. I said, "Well, no problem." And she actually got Rod to sing it. She got Rod to sing it, which is amazing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I want to do I want to do like a reggae, jazz rock reggae version of it. And I want to see if Rod will sing. Rod lives down here in the Christmas time in Florida.
Okay.
I'm in West Palm. He lives in Palm Beach. I talked to him last year. He said, "Let's go out for a drink. You're buying."
Yeah.
I said, "I'm not down there yet." And I said, "Next year." So I'm going to see if I get a hold of him. But
excellent.
I know what you mean about moving. And we had 168 boxes that we moved from Connecticut.
Yep.
And I had a classic Slingerland drum set. And I said, "There's no way I'm putting that in the moving van."
I know.
And so I had this group that I'm co-managing and producing. And I said, "Well, they have a van and a trailer. I said, why don't we just drive to Florida from Connecticut?
Sure.
And we had a new puppy as well. So
Right.
we put the puppy, the drums
Yeah,
in the
go.
trailer, all the other important stuff in the trailer, and we went down. And then the moving van showed up two days later, and
Cool.
the drums were there ahead of time.
Now,
Hey,
both of
Bruce,
you guys
is that why you got those curtains? Vegas curtains?
Yeah, me. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm wearing the Vegas shirt.
Yeah.
It's voice activated, right?
That's the setting. I can switch it for you, so it just does more interesting.
That's cool. It looks great as
Yeah.
you're talking.
Well, are they against the curtain or just hanging down?
Yeah, they're just
front?
little LEDs hanging down. You know.
That's
Oh,
perfect.
my friend Mark will be so excited about this. It was a gift. It was like he knew that we were experimenting, Lisa and I, and videoing things in the home, and he's like, I know you're gonna have a place for this. Here, check this out. And all of a sudden, it comes in the mail, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do with it. And then we realized I'm up in the room where we like to watch TV, and it's best to just use all these red curtains in the room and black them out. So this room's really nice and quiet for that. But yeah, it's on that wall there. I mean, against that curtain, and it works pretty cool.
How long you been living in Vegas? I didn't even know.
So
that.
it was summer of 18. You know, this is my second full year here.
You like it?
Yeah, no, we enjoy it here. I tell you, this has been I mean, not only this summer that we have, to deal with a pandemic, okay, which is ridiculous already, but the heat on the whole West Coast, I think you probably have heard, or Vinny, you're still out on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
It's just been brutal. And then
yeah.
We usually get these monsoon rains in Vegas in the summer. Nothing. We're going to break a record this year. Then, of course, California gives us the gift of all the fire smoke. Okay.
Well, I got that too.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no sun out. There's no
Yeah.
sun.
So I can handle the heat. It's really bad for a couple of months this summer. And I had to ask all my neighbors and my friends that I have here who've lived here a long time. And they're like, oh, yeah, you don't want to talk about this summer. No. It's a bad one.
Yeah.
That's what they say. That's what they say about Florida, because it's been like 98 degrees every day. It rains most of the time. Humidity's high. My girlfriend hates it. She doesn't like the weather. She can't go out. She can't work, walk. She can't take the dog out. The dog don't even want to go out.
I hear you.
So we just got in today, which is really funny. I didn't know they made these. A pool chiller. Instead of a cool pool heater, it's a combination heater and chiller.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The pool is 93 degrees.
Whoa.
Shit.
With no heater on.
That's
from the
great.
sun.
Man.
Right?
Wow.
So this thing is going to cool the pool so we can go in it.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Is that crazy?
Carmine, we've had weekends where it would be like 112, 114, and the highest my water's been in the pool is like 85, 86, which is actually quite comfortable. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're going to knock it down to, like 80, 85. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's like
Vinny showed me his car temperature the other day. It's 121
Oh my God.
in Temecula.
121. Yeah. And now the next day it was like 80 degrees.
Yeah.
It's been nice and cool now. I don't know.
Yeah, it cooled off here too, finally.
It's starting to cool off here too, actually.
Yep.
Speaking of hot,
Yes.
I got to ask you this because you know what? It's 20 years that you're with Grand Funk, but 10 years since you a book came out, and I got to ask you about sex tips from rock stars.
Yep.
You're one of only 23 rock stars featured in this book. What was your tip? I think
I was foolish enough to agree to it. I just happened to know the guy putting the book together. I think it was this really cool guy from down in Australia, I think, that did it. Do you remember the name on the book? Because it's been a while.
From rock stars.
Yeah, no, I meant the name of the author.
Oh, no, I don't.
Okay, no problem. I remember I know I told the story, and what's really the most embarrassing part was there was nothing really. I really, as rock stars go, I'm quite mellow. I am not the Motley Crue member. Okay, with stories. You guys saw the Dirt movie. It starts off pretty interesting. Okay,
And read the book is even worse.
Yeah, exactly. And I knew enough about it working with John Corabi in Union. We talked plenty. Okay, about Motley. But honestly, the funniest part, the only takeaway I have from it is the fact that my beautiful wife's mother had to buy the book and read it, and I was like a little nervous. What did I say in this book? I wonder, And fortunately, Kay, who's wonderful, she enjoyed it. Actually, I didn't say anything too ridiculous, So, but I can't even remember if there was anything valuable except I was the years that I could have been like really insane. I really was very nervous about either getting a girl that I don't even know pregnant, not a good idea, right? Or getting, that was when AIDS was, you guys know that.
Yeah.
I didn't need AIDS, and I didn't want a kid unless it was someone that I really loved. And how do you fall in love in 2 days on the road? You know what I mean? So I was always pretty shy or very cautious about the
I don't know, Bruce. I did that about 4 times.
Yeah.
And I also did all the hotel wrecking that you're talking about. And
yeah, exactly.
I did my book presentation over at the Akata when it came out, and unfortunately, there's a lot of things in there that's pretty out there. But and when we came up with Vanilla Fudge and all that stuff, and that was it, because like when we were done with the show, we're all fired up. We go back to the hotel, even whether if you didn't have a chick with you or something, there was no TV. There was nothing to do, right. And you're all like buzzing. So you wreck a room and drive the truck into the car, and the car into the truck, and then we thought we were getting away with it. And then unlike Steve Weiss was our accountant and attorney.
Yeah, yes, that's not a bad man to have on your side.
And he never told us that he was paying for it all.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, he was paying for it.
Yeah, he was paying for it all. And then when Vanilla Fudge broke up, we said, "Where'd all the money go?"
Yeah.
Yep.
He said, "You want a list of all the hotels you wrecked?"
That you wrecked? Oh, my God. That's so funny.
Unbelievable.
You guys out there probably don't know. Let me tell you quickly about Steve Weiss, okay?
Yeah.
Very powerful man. He managed...
Lawyer.
A lawyer who was dealing with the administration of the publishing for 2 small bands called Led Zeppelin and Bad Company, okay?
And how about Jimi Hendrix?
Yeah, and Hendrix.
And Jeff Beck.
Top of the Time Warner building in Manhattan.
Yeah,
okay.
444 Madison Avenue.
Yes, there you go. So let me tell you, that's intimidating when you're a young, guitar player and you meet that guy. He wanted to work with Bolton. He was instrumental in putting Blackjack together. Without him, it never would have happened. I found some of the contracts recently with moving and having to go through stuff. And when it came time for me to sign the contract, I'm living in a very, lower middle class neighborhood, Jackson Heights in Queens. Yeah. And then there was a Rolls Royce with a limo driver.
With the black driver.
The black guy.
I forgot his name.
Charles, I think, maybe.
Something like that.
And he
had the gray outfit with the hat.
Yep. And he drives me out to Westbury, the estate of Mr. Weiss. Right?
Yep.
So I could go into, first time in my life I ever saw a bathroom with like gold. Okay, you know what I mean? That looked like it was a multi-million-dollar property, and I'm signing the contract. Of course, he's got the Maylocks on the, office desk. Okay, because he's in the music business. Can you imagine the things he's dealt with? Carmine's band, come on, Led Zeppelin. So anyway,
Jeff Beck, he had everybody.
Yes. He had everyone. So it was an amazing.
The Rascals.
Yes. So this guy, I think his son maybe took over or something like that. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either,
but that was really that was 70s rock and roll. That guy makes a phone call. You're going to have a record deal.
Yeah, 60s, 70s. Yeah, 60s, 70s. He was huge. Even in the 80s, he got another deal with Atlantic Records for Vanilla Fudge in 82. Just by a phone call.
Absolutely. So I knew him in the late 70s, and it was really interesting. I know Bolton, it meant a lot for us in the formative years. And getting back to the sex book question of, by the time I got into Kiss, I already saw a lot, okay, because I was already in my 30s, and it's not exactly the same as, maybe in your 20s.
Yeah,
I was settling down, and I was happy to do it, and it was all there if you wanted it, as many girls as you wanted. And Kiss, my version of Kiss was never into the drugs and drinking, as you know, but it was always there if you wanted it. So, but I had a very balanced approach to it, and I was very careful. So, you're gonna have to go to someone else for that. Sorry.
Bruce, getting back to the music, because there's a lot. Johnny Carabi is a good friend, and what's the chances of you guys getting together doing anything with some union stuff?
Yeah, we spoke about a month ago about
really
if this thing goes on, maybe there'd be an opportunity that we could do something again. And I never ruled it out. I really have a lot of respect for John. John stayed current and continues to go out there and play and perform. And he could be his own, a solo artist. He goes out there with acoustic guitar and does gigs. I think he's actually done a few where he could drive to from Nashville.
Yeah.
And I remember when he was telling me about it. Yeah, I'm not taking my own microphone, not stopping. I'm walking in, getting on stage with my mic, do my performance, taking my mic, get the back into my RV, and I'm leaving. You know what I mean? And that's actually probably the most socially responsible thing he can do with the virus. If he's going to go do a gig. And if they're out there all on top of each other, that's them. But that's the way he described it to me. I don't know if it happened, but anyway. But he's a sweetheart, and we get along, and we'll see what happens. I'm still very close with Brent Fitz too, the drummer.
Yep.
That in Union, and Brent and I did the Kiss cruises together, and we're planning. The other guy, Todd and Zach, they're really terrific players.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping we're working on a song right now that we'll probably just do it piecemeal, everyone's studio, and then film and do like what a lot of people have been doing. That's what I'm looking forward to.
This year, we're all happy to hear it because I'm a huge Union fan as well. And just a quick second here. This year in May, we lost a very, very special guy, and I know it's tough. And your brother Bob, you guys played together on Meatloaf's "Spit Out of Hell," side by side. I mean, how did that all happen? And before we do that, I want to toast to Bob real quick. Everybody,
absolutely.
Yeah, amen, bro.
It's to him.
Yeah.
Love you, man. Absolutely.
But Bob was especially connected with Carmine, if we're looking at the room right now. And I know that Carmine knows that because of the Paul Stanley.
No, I played on 2 Christmas albums.
Oh, there you go.
I'm on the new one. I got the tracks in the computer.
Okay.
And it was sounding great. I played on 2 or 3 songs, and
I still haven't kind of figured out the last stuff that he's done. To be quite honest.
I got
all right,
some of the last stuff.
We'll have a conversation, but off the air. Because I need to catch up about that.
Yeah.
But Carmine, that Paul Stanley record, which, and I'm not saying this because it's nice to be nice to Paul, but that was my favorite of the solo records. It just was. Yeah. And I loved your involvement, and I was very aware of all of that. My brother just never really, and this is maybe like the first time publicly I'm talking about it. Mm-hmm. He just never really felt, what admiration he truly had from the fans, Yeah. And I don't think, lots of times you could tell somebody, it's not that different from that gorgeous girl who's like, oh, my lips aren't right. And they're just fussing with their hair and no dress looks right on them. And they're like drop dead amazing. Okay. Yeah. And my brother had that kind of talent. Okay. And he just didn't really always believe that anyone saw it, appreciated it, and admired him.
You know why?
Right? What?
A reason why could be he didn't.
No. Yeah.
In the later years, he didn't do a lot of gigs.
Well, he was producing, but very well.
Did a lot of, I know, but you don't get that
admiration.
From the fans.
Yeah.
Because you're always in the studio. You're in the studio. You're in the studio.
Well, that's why the gig on the cruise, that Kiss Cruise 7, when we got to play and we did, a split set of his contributions to Kiss, and then of course some of the choice songs from my era. That went over like legendary, and it belongs in that kind of status because it was just really magic. We didn't have any history of gigging together like that. It was with Brent Fitz and Todd Kern. It was quite amazing. So, and then moving forward with the loss of my brother, I'm trying to celebrate in every way all the music, all the unusual things that he did that many Kiss fans were not aware of, or those fans that knew him from Meatloaf weren't aware of, or the recording studio artists like you guys that he would hire and work on these projects. Mm-hmm. The body of work he left behind, and I know I spoke recently with Vintage Guitar magazine about it. It's so varied, and his resume is much bigger than mine. Maybe not as big as Carmine's. I know yours is upset, but it's big, okay?
It's big.
It was all quality work.
And he was a great player, man. He really was a great
Yeah.
Great player.
Good.
He was old. He was older than you, right?
Yes, 4 years older.
Yeah.
It's funny, one of the press, I mean, it was so hard for me to deal with any of it, but when I would read something and go like, you know, they would repeat my statement from social media, says the older brother, Bruce Kulick, you know, and I was like, oh boy, okay, thanks a lot, People Magazine or wherever. You know? But either way, you know, he left his mark. I'm so happy that he saved everything so that I was able to really see all these photos, you know, the people like Tim Curry that a lot of people probably didn't know that he toured with, you know, stuff from the Diana Ross years when he was doing that. And of course,
I didn't know he did that.
Yeah. He played on Johnny Carson, you know, on a song called Mirror Mirror. Gene introduced him to, you know, Diana from their relationship, you know what I mean? And Alice Cooper, he was friends with Dick Wagner, and one tour Steve Hunter couldn't play. So the next thing I know, they're going to Australia, and he's doing, you remember the Alice Cooper show back in the late 70s? It was amazing. There was a guitar duel on stage, and they're doing all these things. But Ron, you mentioned Meatloaf. That year was a really huge thing in my life. It really opened my eyes to so much. The band went, Meatloaf did the record. That was a miracle. What a record, of course, you know. And if you ever get Max on your show, ask him about Bat Out of Hell, you know. I think he's on that record. I think he's playing the drums.
And also one time we were rehearsing with Dio. It was Ronnie and I forgot who was playing bass. Maybe Jeff Pilson.
Okay.
And I don't know, we didn't have a guitar player, so we asked Bob to come down.
He was
had a smile from here to here. He was playing. He learned all the shit.
I remember that.
He loved it. He loved being playing in with Ronnie right next to him singing that shit. You know?
And I know they had that relationship, and he did some things with Wendy. Yeah, I mean, he touched so many different artists, and not only Lemmy, of course. You all know he knew Motorhead very well. That was instrumental with that. The SpongeBob thing he got involved with that was so popular. You know, a song for Triple H and things like that. Just really varied with the stuff. But getting back to Meatloaf for a second, that tour. I mean, I have to thank my brother that he was in New York already working and knowing people and doing sessions and everything. And I was the younger brother. He knew I was talented, Bob, but they needed 2 guitar players. So we went and auditioned. They loved Bob, and I'm telling you, it was because he was very confident and very cocky in the sense. And I was just like, you know, like that practically with my guitar. And they weren't so sure about me. And Bob was very, very adamant that if you're going to have me, my brother's playing the other guitar. Now, there was 2 parts of that. Yeah, he loved me. I was his brother. But he also knew I would learn the Todd Rundgren guitar parts that were very important in certain songs, okay? Because that's the one thing about my brother. He wasn't the guy that was going to study every riff note for note. And Vinny, you know, I'll get into that and take it apart and try to learn.
Like us.
Yeah, maybe like you guys. There you go. So anyway, we go off on tour, booed off the stage, first gig opening for Cheap Trick. You know, Meatloaf's like, a lot of people didn't get it. You know, 300-pound guy, also in a tuxedo. With Jim Steinman, who's like this eccentric piano player with crazy hair, 9 people on stage. And within, you know, we do the CBS convention. They pump in more money. There's a radio hit. And then we're headlining arenas. You know what I mean? Playing everywhere, going on Saturday Night Live. And I mean the Belushi days, you know, Gilda Radner, the whole thing. You know, it was unbelievable. And that year, I can't tell you how hard it was for me because the emotions and Meatloaf was out of control most of the time, and I didn't get it. But it really was something that was very formidable for me. Bob continued to play with Meatloaf, actually, shortly after that. Meatloaf fell apart after that tour. He couldn't sing. It took years for him to do another record, but then my brother was involved with him. And then we would actually meet sometimes in Europe. I'm in Kiss now. It's 84, and my brother's there with Meatloaf. So what an incredible, interesting kind of connections with everybody. His career really did touch so many people.
It sounds, it just sounds so similar to me and Vinny. You know, at times I was playing with Ozzy, he was playing with Dio, and in Europe, and we were playing the same arenas. We were leaving notes for each other on the wall. Yeah, you know, and just funny stuff. You know, and when we play together, like you guys did on the boat, we play a little bit of each other's hits plus some new stuff. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
both
Yeah.
of you guys being brothers and a little
Yeah.
age difference and different resumes, slightly,
Yeah.
but, you know, great players. And that was Bob and I, you know, as well. It's an interesting parallel. So, yeah, he's really missed by the fans. And I know that I always feel like he's more aware in heaven looking at this adulation from the fans. And I mean, not only Kiss fans, from everybody. It's just unbelievable.
We could have started a band together, the Brothers.
Yeah, the brothers.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
that would have been.
And Tony Franklin on the bass.
Yeah,
And
right.
to be a therapist on the road with us, of course. You know.
Too bad we don't have a bass player and a singer that are brothers.
The Okai sisters.
No, right.
Vinny knows somebody. I knew he would.
Brothers and sisters. There we
Okay.
go.
I would book that.
There you go.
Yeah, you would book that.
I would totally book that.
There's gig one. Gig one.
Do you have a favorite Kiss song that either you like to play live more than others, or that you just enjoy, or is it the same song?
No, I mean, there were certain key tracks that I loved playing. I mean, there were certain ones I didn't always. You get tired of playing the same ones. I know the tours, if we did Tears Are Falling, I loved that because we didn't always play that one, but it's a great song that's connected to my era. Unholy later on. Forever was beautiful to play, and we only did that a couple of tours, you know. Sometimes I think of the live songs like, what did we do production-wise? Because that kind of made it feel, and that's why Forever had these green lasers that would be moving with it, and, you know, that was really special. But and I'd start out playing electric, then I'd walk up to a Chet Atkins acoustic on a stand and then play the solo, and, you know, so things like that. But I you know, look, there's a wealth of material that I'm just really fond of from all those years. Fortunately, I had enough studio albums under my belt that I got plenty to talk about. Tomorrow I'm probably filming something to put on social media for Sunday, where I'm going to experiment with something from Eric Carr from one of the records, which is going to be a lot of fun. So there's always stuff that I want to share and delve into and into details. And one last thing about Kiss, big anniversary coming up next week.
Yep.
Asylum record, 35 years. Can you believe that? 35 years, the release.
I have a
These
question.
anniversaries keep coming up, you know.
When Eric was in the band, I
Mhm.
don't remember if Eric was in the band when we toured with King Cobra, but
So which tour did you do? Which
85.
Yeah, that would have been Eric Carr.
86.
Yes, Eric Carr. Mhm.
Okay. Now, when Eric Singer was in the band, now let me go back. When Eric Carr was in the band, did you guys do Beth?
No, we weren't allowed to, even though he recorded it or sang it for Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. If Ron's a big Kiss, you know, nut, you know, you'd know that.
Right.
But I think they worked that out with Peter. I think it had something to do with something. But I know Eric does it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Eric
I
Singer-
know, because and he does it great. He's great.
Yeah, he does a
voice.
great job. But no,
Eric had a great voice.
never
Wow.
did that live in my era. Never.
Yeah, because I don't remember him doing it until I saw it lately, and I said, "Wow, I didn't know Eric could sing
Yeah.
like that."
And it might have had something to do with when Peter came back in the band for a few years, and maybe they worked out. I don't know. It's kind of there's so much of that stuff behind the scenes.
Did Peter write that song? No.
Yeah, Peter did. Yeah, with
That's
Bob Ezrin.
probably why. He probably didn't give him a license to do it.
Right.
Hey, let's mention our good buddy Frankie Benelli, who just recently passed through,
Yeah.
right?
Oh my God.
We all knew him like
Unbelievable.
so well, and
He was loved. He was loved by everybody.
Yes.
The nicest guy. I mean, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Every time I would see him, he'd come up and give me a kiss on the cheek and a hug.
Me too.
Just like an Italian, you know.
Yeah.
And when we did a lot of these things, I think it was like the Bonzo Bash rehearsals at Bates. He would always come in and he'd bring spaghetti and meatballs, just like you, Ron.
Yeah,
You know, he'd bring spaghetti. He was awesome. He was such a nice guy.
Recipes.
Yeah.
His mom's recipes, my mom's recipes.
I hear that they're going to continue Quiet Riot without him.
Yeah, we've actually got them booked, you know, and it's actually going to be, originally I tried really, really hard because I knew Frankie was under the weather at the time. And so I booked him. I said, I got to get, you know, Frankie, Quiet Riot was the first heavy metal band I ever booked. So I booked him maybe 25, 30 times over the years, maybe more. And I tried to have this show with them. And I was calling, you know, Mark Hyman, you know, Mark made the
Yeah.
we got to make this happen. So we had it, and he was supposed to do it April, and he was coming, and then didn't happen. And then I tried to get him even on this show, and he got to be week. And I said, Mark, can I just fly him in just to do anything, just a Q&A? I want to do something with Frankie, and it never happened. It was just so sad.
Yeah, so terrible.
But you know what?
I mean, I think they should get like Cavazzo, Carlos Cavazzo back. His Carlos ain't doing anything.
Yeah.
You know, at least there's be one original member at least. You know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what you're going out is just you know, like it's almost like a tribute band.
There's Rudy too. Rudy.
Yeah, there's Rudy. Yeah, Rudy too.
Rudy Starr is going to go out.
But Rudy's playing with guess who?
Yeah.
I don't know who.
Some dates.
Who's Rudy? Who's Rudy playing with?
Guess who?
I don't know who.
Oh, here you go. Abbott and Costello, right there.
There you go.
Hey, we gotta go now. But listen, we want to thank you so much. You've been a tremendous guest.
That was great. Great. I'm glad we got you.
Well, thanks for the invite, guys, and we'll all
do
connected.
We'll do it again.
Yeah.
And Ron said the check. Ron said the check's in the mail.
Oh, the check's in the mail. Oh, yeah.
You know what's going on with the mail these days. So who knows?
But I'd like to just mention that for sure, this has not been a normal year for anybody.
No.
I mean, the pandemic was enough to turn my head inside out, you know, and then I had to lose my brother, which was awful. I felt like hell. It really destroyed me emotionally and physically. I was a wreck for a month and more.
Yes.
But the silver lining of the pandemic and what I've had to deal with is the outreach of all of the fans and us musicians all binding together and coming together at things like this.
Yeah.
You know, because we're all in it together. So I thank you all.
Yeah.
I love the fans. Thank you for tuning in and all that you do. Ron, I hadn't met you before, but thanks for hanging in there for the music community and you Appice guys, I love you.
Hey, at least you guys pronounced your last name the same.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we did. I was just glad they knew anything like Kulick. I didn't care really. You know, you guys get into it.
This is totally two different things. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you something, Bruce. As a rock and roll fan, that I think I halfway know what I'm talking about. The Appice thing is the hardest thing in rock and roll, bar none.
It is.
It's the hardest thing, I'm telling you.
Even I get confused.
Yeah.
We wish you the best. Hey, everybody out there, make sure you share this. You like it. You do everything. Get all your friends on this artist lockdown. Yes, we're doing
Ron, who's next week?
Next week, Mr. Kip Winger from Winger.
Woo!
All right.
There you go.
All right.
Stay tuned,
Hey.
everybody.
Shout out to Mark Weber. Buddy.
Yeah, man. Mark Weber.
He was just on. Mark Weber.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Bruce, all the best of luck to you, brother.
you.
You're one of the good ones out there, man. So all the best to you.
Can I mention my website, brucekulick.com? Okay, brucekulick.com. And my YouTube channel, Bruce Kulick. Go there, subscribe. Click the bell.
You'll be happy.
What was it again?
Yeah. It was Carmine. Is it a piece or
A piece. I'm a piece.
All the
It's a
best,
meatball,
guys.
meatball on her ring. That's what it's called. Okay, that's
There you go. One more meatball.
Frank Sinatra connection.
All right, see you guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.
See you guys
Thanks,
next
man.
week.
Bye now.
Hey, guys. Rock and roll.